As ultralight backpackers, we're most interested in saving weight. So we want to maximize the amount of water we boil while minimizing the amount of fuel we use. Canister stoves like this are so attractive for ultralight backpacking because they have a valve and they allow us to meter the fuel precisely, and that gives us a lot of control over our fuel efficiency. I'll be talking about that a little bit more later in this video. Otherwise, here are a few tips for maximizing the fuel efficiency of canister stoves when you're out in the field. First, protect it from wind. The biggest enemy of fuel efficiency for any stove is going to be wind. While canister stoves burn with a flame that's more powerful than most other types of ultralight stoves, you still have to keep them protected from the wind because your fuel efficiency will still decrease. Some canister stoves have built-in wind screens, like the one on this MSR Pocket Rocket 2. You can see the little fins up there. They don't help a lot, but they help some in a very light breeze. But don't rely on those wind screens to improve your fuel efficiency greatly if the wind is blowing. In addition, you can make your own wind screen. We'll provide some links to that below, but keep in mind there's some risk to that. What happens when you enclose a canister and it's inside a tight windscreen is that it can retain so much heat, you end up warming the canister up so high that it could explode and cause an injury. In stormy conditions, some backpackers are tempted to cook inside their tents. Don't do this. There's a risk of carbon monoxide poisoning and it can kill you. Now, if you have a tent that has a large vestibule where you could open the door and get lots of airflow, that's an appropriate use. Just don't do it in bear country. Cook away from your tent. For more information about carbon monoxide emissions from backpacking stoves, make sure you check out Roger Caffin's Science and Research series on carbon monoxide, stoves, and tents. And don't forget, in the winter, you can dig a small snow pit and cook inside the snow pit. There's a built-in windscreen right there. Now we have another video on that, so if you want details on how this is built and how it works, go to that video. Otherwise, be creative. Cook behind a large... Put your stove behind a large... Otherwise, be creative. Cook behind a large rock or a log, or build a snow wall and put your stove behind that so you can block the wind. Second, and this is what I was alluding to earlier, turn the heat down on your stove. If you turn the heat down, it's going to lower the burn rate and you're going to waste less heat. It will require less fuel to boil a given amount of water. Now, it might take an extra minute or two, so if you can afford the extra time, don't be afraid to play with the valve on your stove to get even more fuel efficiency. I've run some tests in 3-season conditions and can easily get 30 to 40% more fuel efficiency simply by turning the stove down a little bit. Third, if you don't have a need for fully boiled water, you can stop heating at any time. Now, I like boiled water for rehydrating my freeze-dried meals, but I only need hot water for coffee or tea, so I don't need to bring it all the way to a full boil. Just make sure you're using treated water because you're not boiling it and thus can't disinfect any microorganisms that are in it. Finally, in the winter, when most of your water comes from melted snow, you can save a lot of fuel by finding a creek bed, digging away the snow, breaking through the ice, and getting liquid water. It will take at least twice as much fuel to create boiled water from snow as it will creating boiled water from a cold creek. Okay, that's it. I hope these tips were useful for getting the most fuel efficiency you can out of your canister stove system.